Hello everyone and welcome back to my second channel. This channel is where we post random videos that are not related to gaming on my main channel, links in the description by the way. And yeah, so we are going to go through the weather today, and just like we did on Wednesday morning, we are going to go through the weather today and see what the models are showing for the 12 and 18Z on GFS and other 12Z models as well. At the end of the video as well, we will have a Christmas sneak peek as well, so we will actually preview some of Christmas stuff. We will go through some CFS stuff as well at the end of the video. So yeah, that's coming up later on. Yeah, so to start off with today, I thought I'd show you what I showed you at the start of last on Wednesday morning's video. As I thought I'd show you some of the temperature and the precipitation stuff. So November 2021 so far has increased by 0.7 over the last few days. This is turned out to be quite a mild November so far. The first 14 days or so, 13 days or so has been very mild. Like, we were nowhere near this. We probably were near this last year. What am I talking about? But yeah, this will probably climb a little bit tomorrow, and then I think it'll probably drop away next week. We are going to get a mild spell on Thursday and Friday for 2 days, so I think we're probably going to climb back up again, but I don't think we'll go over 8 degrees. I don't think we'll go over to 8 degrees. We're going to get nowhere near 2011. I can guarantee you that pretty much. We're not going to get near 2011. With 2011, we had a lot of heat at the start of the month. Like we had like 16 degrees or something in 2011 at the start, so I don't think we're going to get anywhere near 9 degrees in the record. I doubt we're going to get low either. I think we're probably going to end up, I'm going to stick with my original thought, going to end up somewhere between 5.9 and 6.4. Or was it 5.8 and 6.3? I think it was 5.8 and 6.3, because I think we're going to get a few cold snaps later in the month as well. So yeah, fingers crossed that goes down and that goes right. So yeah, that's my prediction. Yeah. Precipitation, we did predict it would be 50 to 60 mils in the end, and we did predict right that this would go up to around 15 mils. It was 14, but yeah, we had quite a bit of rain on Thursday night into Friday as well. It actually woke me up at 5 a.m, so I actually experienced it a lot. It rained a lot more in Dundee than this weather station shows in 5. It was probably that would be more like 21 or 22 right now if that was taken into Dundee's account. We will have, hopefully on Wednesday morning is the next time this video will be up. The next time we show models. I'm planning to do Wednesday and Sunday morning basically. But yeah, the next time we do this, I'll hopefully be able to show you Dundee data. Hopefully. But yeah, that's just brought you up to date with this. I still think I'm going to stick with 50 to 60 mils, and I think we are definitely going to be in the lower end of this. I don't think we're going to be in the top 5, but who knows? Maybe it'll turn very unsettled later in the last week of the month. Like, who knows? Remember, what October turned out to be? Turned out to be the wettest month of the year, even though it sat like 50 mils until like the 25th. Sip of water there. Yeah, so we are actually going to look through some chart data now. Let me go back to the start. You didn't see anything, okay? Okay, so on Sunday, this Sunday coming, so this is today, we've actually got quite a mild south westerly coming in. So it's quite mild. The upper air temperatures are quite mild as well. The southeast might be a little bit cooler under that, as they've not got the strong high pressure and they've got more of an easterly influence. If we go through to Monday, we can see that the mild weather continues. It does get a little bit cooler on Tuesday. Yeah, if you look at the upper air temperatures, they are a bit cooler, and the north does get a little bit more unsettled as well, but nothing overly dramatic. I think Scotland will be not dry completely, but it will certainly be like, it'll be okay, I guess. Wednesday, the high pressure re-establishes and we turn the wind to the southwest, which is quite warm actually. I think this is well above average for the time of year, and Friday is when the heat really peaks. I think that's 10 Celsius isotherm right there. 19th of November, we're probably going to get around 15 or 16 in the south. Something like 11 or 12 in the north, but that is quite exceptional for November. And the ridge it sort of breaks a little bit, and it kind of goes a little bit more flimsy. So I think around 21st, 22nd, we might start pulling in some northerly winds, but I think it'll probably be short lasting on this run, because the Atlantic ridge does not look like it's stretching up to Greenland or anything. So I don't think it's going to be overly cold. I think it'll be like a day or so, probably. Yeah, so this is the GEM. Next, we'll leave GFS to last because they're longer. Yeah, so this is the 12Z on the GEM. Let's go with 24 hourly intervals. So yeah, this is today we have got that's today Sunday. So this is today at 12 o'clock. We are bringing in southwesterlies into Scotland, but it is easterly into the south, so it's a little bit cooler, but nothing like noticeable really. And then it starts to go more southwesterly, and then it starts to a bit more unsettled in the north compared to the UK Met Office though. And the south and particularly the north as well is getting cooler as it's exposed to the Atlantic more. It will feel cooler with the Atlantic breaking through. And then as we go into Thursday, and then particularly on Friday, the peak of the heat will be there. This is going to be really warm on Friday. Really warm on Friday. For November anyway. If this was July, we'd be saying, wow, it's freezing. And then it gets interesting into the weekend. We start to pull the wind into the north. So yes, the -5 isotherm does get into pretty much almost, apart from like South England, but we're focusing on Scotland. So yes, next Sunday. It is I'm a Celebrity start date, by the way. Yes, we start to pull in a northerly on the 21st. 22nd, the northerly kind of gets going away, but it will be coming into quite cold air, so there could be some frost around on Monday morning with that as well. And then we move into Tuesday, where the ridge does start to go to Scandinavia, so the upshot of that is we could start pulling in some easterly winds middle of next week. We could start bringing in some easterly winds. So yeah, that's definitely one to watch. It's an interesting chart, this. That could be a teaser, that northerly, and then we could get another one on like the 26th or something. But yeah, it's obviously extended range, and nobody really knows what's going to happen. This is the ECM, or otherwise known as the BBC Weather's favourite. Yeah, so I'm not going to go into that. Yeah, so Sunday is quite mild. In the south, it does get a little bit cooler. The north is more unsettled, so it's a little bit milder in the north. And then the southwesterlies do take over on Friday and Thursday. The upper air temperatures are very warm. Yes, that's going to be like 15 or 16 in the south, so yes, very warm. And then the same idea again, we start to pull the wind into the north. Yesterday, Thursday, or 2 days ago when you're watching this video, when this video goes up, the wind, it did look like the high pressure was going to cling on and not turn into the north. The funny thing is, Thursday, the models were looking very cold. Friday, the models were looking very mild. And then Saturday, when I'm recording this, the models were more mixed. So it just shows that the models have no clue what's going on next week. Maybe they do have more of an idea now, though, because it is closer. So maybe we are starting, they were kind of going for cold before. They want to test out a mild, and then now they're actually going back to cold again, and then maybe they will stick with that. So yeah, that doesn't last long. Actually, this ridge does bring in a lot quicker than the GEM did. But it is coming into cold air, so there will be there should be some frost around with that. Let's see what the upper air temperatures were on Saturday. They aren't that cold because the ridge does topple over very quickly. And then Monday it is looking actually quite mild on Monday. Back to mild weather again, like we have been this whole autumn. Oh my god, when will we ever get out of it? And then actually it does start to go to Scandinavia, so the same idea with the GEM. Not quite as much, but it is there. But this is very mild as well. Maybe getting a little bit cooler in the north, but nothing, nothing really exciting if you like cold weather. Okay, GEM. Oh, jeez. I keep doing that. I'm sorry. Let's just check I've not done it on this. No. Okay, cool. So this is the 12Z. This is the second last one. So yeah, again, we're bringing in southwesterly winds into Scotland today, and then we're doing that tomorrow as well, Monday, and then Saturday. Tuesday, this is looking quite a bit unsettled on Tuesday for Scotland, actually, on Tuesday. And then we start to bring the wind into the southwest on Friday. It's going to be very mild on Friday. The upper air temperatures of that are looking like 10 Celsius isotherm, so that's very mild for the time of year. And then we actually pull the wind into the south, the wind to the south, pull the wind from the north, and the upper air temperatures of that are fairly cold. I think there'll be enough for frost in the north, maybe even some snow. Maybe. Definitely, there's good chance in like Shetland and stuff, and like right to the north, but I don't know. I don't know how far south that's going to stretch. And then obviously the high pressure comes in around midday on Sunday. So that's when the high pressure kind of ruins the northerly, if you like. And then, yeah, I'm a Celebrity start time around then. That will be quite cool, actually. So they will be getting into I'm a Celebrity quite cold. Yes, they will. And then, yeah, that ridge does pull in on the 23rd. Same idea. It's an Atlantic ridge that's just toppling over and ruining the northerly. So it's about 24 to 48 hour northerly blast. Nothing significant, you know, like it's pretty normal for November. But it could be important. Could be important later on. Now, this is starting to ridge to Scandinavia a little bit. However, it isn't doing very well. It is quite cool. It is quite cool with that. So we're losing the 0 Celsius out from. We're trying to go into... we're losing the 5 and we're going to 0. So that will be quite cool, that. And then it's sort of... It does get cooler. It is frosty. It could be quite cold, actually, with that. And then we bring in... Then we start to go back mild again. And yeah, we end up on the 29th of November. But it's starting to reach to Scandinavia again. But this low pressure might just ruin it. We don't know, though. We don't know. If that was to go in that direction, we might promote the high pressure up to Scandinavia and pull the wind to the east. So, who knows? How does that compare to the overall ensembles? I would say that's fairly mild compared to the overall ensembles. You notice the white line, though, is staying around average. So it is getting cooler. We have got like a real trend for cooler weather. Before that, though, we've got a real push of mild weather. A real push of mild weather. It's mild right now. It will be mild tomorrow as well. And then it will be a bit cooler and then go mild again and then down. It will get a bit cooler on the 17th. That's where we've got a small chance of some winter showers in the far north of Scotland. And then very mild on Friday. And then, yeah, back to average. I say back to average, or we're going down to average because it hasn't been near average this whole autumn so far. And yeah, that if you have just hover over operational there, that is, I would say that's a bit more milder than the white line. So that one is a bit above, and we've got quite a bit of cold weather in that as well. Not a lot, but there is especially around the 21st. That is going quite low though, if you notice, the 21st. That's quite the lower end of that. But it is the upper end of the 25th. So yeah, it is all up for grabs, really. I do think there is a good chance to get at least one cold blast, probably next week, and then maybe another one before the end of the month as well. Yeah, so let's have a look at the 18Z. I have not seen this yet, so I'm actually experiencing this with you for the first time. Interestingly enough. So yeah, what happens on the 8th? Let's go with 24 hours. I feel like it's better with 24 hours. You can just skip forward and to talk about everyone. So yeah, of course, today we are bringing up a southwesterly and it's quite mild. And then on Tuesday, it does go a little bit cooler. That does push a little bit further south though on the 18Z. That's interesting. That's the latest one. So maybe Scotland have a little bit of interest. Something to talk about on Tuesday. Finally. And then on Thursday, we start to pull the wind in the southwest. That kind of goes more west than southwest, though, if you notice. So it'll be a tiny bit cooler. Actually, it kind of goes northwest, but it will be milder for a time. On Thursday, it will be the same idea. But Friday, it kind of like takes away the southwest a bit quicker than... Maybe because it's just 18Z and it's a bit later. But yeah, I think it probably does take it away quite quickly. And it starts to pull in some cooler air into the far north of Scotland. And I think eventually, yes, 20th of November, is early 20th of November. That's only not even a week away. That is pulling in the -5 isotherms. So, and look at this. This is going to the south of Greenland as well. Wow. And yes, it does topple over on the 21st, but it will be coming into quite cold air as well, 21st. So that does get going on... You can't really call it blocking, but it is going to Greenland, which will pull in some cold air, and maybe even the 22nd will continue that. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. That starts bringing in colder air again on the 23rd. So that brings the -5 in on the 23rd. Of course, this is extended range. This is 10 days away. 10 days is not a heck of a lot, though. Nothing like what we would be on the 29th. However, this is an interesting run, this. Interesting run that the cold stays there a little bit longer, and it ridged to it ridged to Greenland as well. And again on the 25th, we're bringing down not cold air but cooler air. It's not mild. It's probably average, maybe a bit below. And yes, we start to topple that in. Not until the 26th though. And then what happens next? Okay, so it goes more westerly, the Atlantic breaks through, and yes, but maybe signs of it going towards Scandinavia afterwards, but that's obviously extended range, and we can't really say at all. But, what's really interesting is this one here. That stays around for probably 4 days, maybe even longer. Actually, it kind of renews it, so I'd probably say about a week almost. Cooler air. If you see greens, I'd say that's cool. Yeah. So we kind of keep that for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, 6 days basically. We keep the greens there. And remember, it will be colder in the north because we are bringing down northerlies a lot. Northwesterlies or northerlies, so yeah. For Scotland, it will be quite cold. Interesting run that, a bit colder. If you like colder weather, that run was a bit better. And hopefully that might tease December, and hopefully December will come up colder. But around the 29th of November, we start to go back into the pattern we've been in for the last like 10 years. Southwesterlies, basically. Although this low pressure here is like on all models almost, and it is maybe threatening around maybe quite a stormy start to December, but we don't know yet. I bet it'll be all different tomorrow. How does that compare then? Interesting this one, as you noticed. This one is, I would probably say this is on the milder bunch, which is really interesting, because I wouldn't have said that was on the milder bunch with that. Like, most of the time, apart from the 21st to the 24th, this is above the white line. That's really interesting, that. Because I would have said that is like the coldest run we've had in probably like 2 days, 3 days, which is really weird. But yeah, it just shows, especially around 27th, 28th though, that's when it starts to like bring the high pressure back and start to turn into southwest. That's really interesting, that, but yeah. I thought I'd show you the 2 meter temperatures from, let's go 18Z. Let's go 18Z. So yeah, we can see here right now we are sitting around 8.2 on average. Probably add a degree onto that, but between 9 and 10, you can always add a degree onto that. And then you can see here it does go actually on Tuesday, it does cool down a little bit as we start to break through the Atlantic for a time, just under 7 degrees, so about 8 degrees. And then you can see here, as we've seen in the models, it does go very mild later in the week, almost 13 degrees probably, maybe even higher, like maybe 14 is possible. And then it sort of slips away around the 21st. The idea is there around 21st that the average will only be about 7.5 degrees. At night it could be quite cold as well, so average 3.1, probably 4. And yeah, so it does go cool until the very end, 28th, the average is only 5, so 6 degrees in the afternoon. It's probably around the average, but it does show that we're sort of breaking, hopefully breaking down high pressure. But there is some cold ones down here. There is some of them like going for like 2 or 1 degree as a high, so that'd be like 2010. But yeah, but you do notice here the operational is one of the warmest, which is really bizarre. Even though I saw that as quite a cold run actually, which is really weird. Finally, I'll show you, this is just a bit of fun, I'll show you a bit for Christmas. Yeah, so I've seen a lot of other people using CFS what am I saying? I've seen a lot of people use CFS as extended. I know it is very extended, so it is not, this is just for fun really. But yeah, on the 20th of December with the 0Z, we're going to show you the 0, the 6 and the 12Z. The 18Z hasn't updated yet. It's updated a little bit, but I can't show you yesterday's 18Z because it is updating today's. So yeah, 20th of December, we are bringing down a northerly though, which is really interesting. And we've got Scandinavian high. This is what you want. Interesting though that a Scandinavian high is bringing down a northerly. That's not really the case usually. But yeah, this is bringing down a northerly wind, and the upper air temperatures are quite cold as well. 21st, it is starting to break through with the Atlantic, so it is getting a little bit milder. 22nd, there could be a little bit of frost around with that as it comes into fairly cool air. 23rd, that is very mild, actually extremely mild. That is like That is like probably the warmest Christmas Eve of Eve we've had in a long time. And it actually turns southwest, so this is an extremely mild. Ooh, actually, that is a cold Christmas for the east, and a very mild Christmas for the west. So that is kind of knife edge situation there. What's interesting about that though is I was going to say this might produce some sleet in the south, but I don't know. Is it coming into the -5 ice farm? Who knows? And then it's very mild actually around the 28th. South is a little bit cooler. And then as you go up to the new year, is the Atlantic starting to break through. Although it does start to turn northerly. And it goes very cold for New Year's Day. So that could be a very cold New Year's Day. Okay, so that one is I would say that's a cool Christmas. I wouldn't say it's a cold Christmas. But in the east, it is cold. It's a very messy situation around Christmas though. Jeez. So this time around we've got southwesterly. So this is very mild for the 20th. We go through to Christmas Eve, and we are still bringing in quite mild air, although the north of Scotland is quite cold. And then Christmas Day itself is looking very mild, so yeah, I'd probably call that a warm Christmas. And as we go up to New Year's Day, it is looking very mild until New Year's Day. Very, very mild section between Christmas and New Year's Day. That's usually the turning point though. Between Christmas and New Year's Day, as we saw in 2009, that was the turning point. As we saw last year, it was a turning point. This week is like usually a big turning point in the winter, I've noticed. And yes, it is starting to turn northwest. Let's just go on a little bit to see what it says. Oh my god, that is bringing down very cold. Oh my god. That is a very interesting run. Wow. That is bringing down extremely cold, almost -15. It's just for fun, it's not going to be real. But if we can get that on New Year's Day, I'll be extremely happy. Wow. Okay, let's have a look at 12Z. So I'd call that a very mild Christmas. So we had a cool Christmas, a very mild Christmas. Let's see if we can get a cold Christmas. So this is this 12Z. So it is cool at this point, not overly cool, but it is cool. That's a messy situation. It is bringing -5 in, but as the low pressure is there, we could get some snow with that, especially in the east. That's coming into quite cold air, so it could be frosty, but eventually it will turn mild. And then on Christmas Day, it's actually looking very stormy, although it's looking more windy than stormy because it is high pressure. So yeah, do we get cold with this one? I'd call that mild Christmas. Yes, we do. Right after Christmas, Boxing Day is the day it changes. Oh my god, imagine that. That would suck. I'd hate that so much. I don't mind 27th, but 26th? Oh god. And yes, it is actually turning extremely cold. This is twice this come up now though. It is plunging south. And we've not got any sort of blocking or anything, which is weird. We've got a little bit, but not a lot. But yeah, that is turning very cold. -10's over here, almost -15. Jeez, man. So this would be a very cold New Year's Day, and probably more of a frosty New Year's Day. But it is a very cold run from like 28th to 31st. And yeah, that could be quite a hint for what's to come in January, though. So yeah, we've got a little bit of blocking over here as well. So that's something to keep an eye on. That's a very cold pool. If we start turning wind to the east, that could become severe. But yeah, that's a extended range. We're going to leave it there. That was a fun video. I really enjoyed it. The 18Z was quite interesting as well, even though it wasn't. It looked mild on the ensembles. It is an interesting run, that. Yeah, so yeah, I just thought I'd show you this for Christmas. That was a fun little end to the video. Why not, you know? Yeah, we will be back in a couple of days' time. Probably Wednesday morning. I'll record it on Tuesday night. So we will look at the 12 and the 18Z on what you call it, the 12 and 18Z on Wednesday morning for GFS, and we'll look at the 12 and the two 12Zs for the ECM and GM and Met Office as well, and we'll update you on the temperature. And I should be able to show you some Dundee data for rainfall as well, hopefully. Hopefully they've updated it. It's looking like a very wet winter. A very wet... don't say that. It's looking... We don't want a wet winter. It's looking like a very wet October. But yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. If you really want to keep up to date with other videos, go on my channel, including my main channel and this channel, because we will be uploading more over the winter. So yeah, see you later.